Hello, I'm Mackenzie Henderson with the I'm Me podcast. Through this podcast, I want to show everyone that there is no limit to your success. Today, I have a nurse, Ashley Carty, as my guest. Hello, Ashley.
Hi, thanks for having me.
Of course, thank you for coming.
Absolutely.
So, you're a nurse, and a lot of people are interested in the nursing field. So, I just want to know a little bit about how you got started. College pretty much sets the trajectory for your future. What advice do you have for finding your passion or discovering your major?
My advice would have to be definitely start getting involved, like in school. I think that is a big thing. Get involved just to try different things, different clubs to see what you like and what you don't like. You can like reach out and talk to, different teachers and see, what what kind of things that they, um experienced in college. You can do research on like different things, different degrees, and what jobs come with those types of degrees. Like some people like to draw, or some people like to sew, and you wouldn't think, oh, okay, well, let me try to find a career in sewing, but you can be anything you really want to be. Everyone has something that they like to do in their spare time, a hobby or anything like that. So I just say, I just feel like for a job or a career, finding a career, definitely do something that you're passionate about or something that sparks your interest, and then just kind of navigate and explore that before you go to college and spend money on a degree and you're like, okay, I definitely don't want to do this, because I've seen it happen. So
As a
definitely.
nurse, what do you think that you should do whenever you're finding your major? Because I know that you can be a biology major, you can be a chemistry major if you want to go into nursing, or you could be a nursing major. So, how do you choose which one you want to do? What is your advice?
Um, I definitely would say do your research. See what the requirements are. Is that something that I want to do? Do I want to be in school for 8 years? Do I want to be in
Mm.
school for 4 years? Do I want to take these classes? Do I hate chemistry? Do I hate biomed? It's just definitely research before you dive and go into something. Do your research first. That's the main thing, to just kind of see what's expected of you, because you don't want to go in not knowing what's expected of you when you have all the resources on Google or wherever where you can, look it up and do your own research for yourself. And then again, if you know anyone in those types of careers, you can always reach out to them and, kind of pick their brain and see, okay, what are some of the things that you do on a day-to-day basis? What does your job look like? And just so you can kind of see, okay, that kind of interests me. Or, you know what, I don't like blood and I know I don't like sticking people. So maybe
Yeah.
nursing may not be for me. So definitely just do your research.
Yeah, it's super easy to do your research now. I mean, it's so easy to just type any question in Google or even TikTok. I know I use
Yes.
TikTok as Google. I know it might sound crazy, but I
No,
do.
it's not crazy. TikTok has everything. Any video
Literally.
on any topic is literally at your fingertips. So research is pretty easy to do. I am not that old, but before, I mean, computers was just to go on Word and do your homework. We had floppy disk, girl. It was not how it is now. So thank God that y'all have a little bit more, advanced technology, because back then it was not like that.
Yeah, it makes everything so easy, even this podcast right now.
Hmm.
Even though you can still be in college, life happens. How do you find the strength to keep going whenever school or balancing life gets hard?
That's a good question, because it does get hard, especially if you're not used to being away like from your family and friends, and you're in a new environment. If you're in a different city or a different state going to school for the first time, that can be really hard. One thing I can say is stay grounded in God. And, I know sometimes when we go off to school, it's like, oh, my mom and dad don't make me go to church anymore. Like, I can just do whatever I want to do. But definitely keeping God first and trusting in Him and praying and having that spiritual relationship with Him definitely helps. And then, too, like, find out who your support system is. It may not always be your family. You may have a really close friend that you can confide in and vent to, and that, they're your safe space. So don't, forget about those people that that are always going to be there for you when you need them, because college does get hard. Sometimes it can get very lonely as well when you just kind of like overwhelmed. Like I said, you're in a new environment, you're a freshman, like going to school, everything is just kind of on you now as
Yeah.
far as responsibility. In high school, you still have your parents like, okay, Kenzie, go to school, or no, or go ahead, did you finish your homework? Nobody's doing that for you in college. It's definitely 100% up to you to be successful. And sometimes that's overwhelming for first time college students because, they're not used to that. So definitely having a good support system, venting to people that you trust, and then just stay organized and, plan ahead, so things don't seem so overwhelming with different classes, just kind of staying on top of things. But that would be my advice.
Staying organized definitely does help because even in high school, whenever I get stop planning my day or stop putting things on my calendar, everything is just
Yeah.
terrible.
So when you have a
So,
lot of stuff going on, it's just
yeah.
like, okay, wait, I have what due tomorrow at 8 a.m.? I have a class. What? I forgot.
Exactly.
So definitely staying organized. And then too, you want to be a well-rounded student. You can't just be 100% in your books all the time. Go have fun, do yoga, go for a run, a walk if you're not into running, read a book if that's something that you like, go get ice cream with friends, have fun too. It doesn't always have to be like, oh my God, let me read this chapter and, stuck in my dorm all day, day in and day out. Definitely have fun.
That's how I thought college was going to be, just studying all the time.
Uh-uh. Mm-mm, girl.
How is your experience when attending UT Arlington and community college? What was the difference between the two?
Another good question. It was a very big difference. I attended UT Arlington my freshman year. I left Houston and moved into the dorms in Arlington, and it was kind of a culture shock for me. I didn't have any family out in the Dallas area. My entire family lives in Houston, and so it was kind of difficult for me to adjust to school. Um, but I did, do different things, and I ended up making the dance team and doing different things on campus. Definitely helped, but financially, I had to leave and ended up transferring to community college just to save money, and I had to do what was best for me at the time. Even though I didn't want to, and it kind of did hurt my pride to have to leave, a 4-year university and go to a community college, even though nothing's wrong with community colleges. If I can go back, I would start off at a community college if I didn't have, the like a full ride or bunch of scholarships. Community college is definitely an amazing way to get your college degree at a cheaper price. But it is a big difference. Community college is kind of like, commuting to school. You kind of just go to school and then go home, and then same thing. It's not really that on campus experience where, you have the football games and you have this different things going on, and you're walking on campus to go to school, class with your friends. It's just kind of more so like, okay, let me go to class and then I'm gonna leave. But it did help me become more focused. I feel
Mm-hmm.
like my freshman year at UT Arlington, I was just so caught up in, everything else. like the dance team and, my friends and different things like
Mhm.
that. Sometimes I feel like I kind of got a little lost and overwhelmed and caught up in the wrong, things because it was just so much to do. And nobody's
Yeah.
telling you, no, girl, you need to stay home and, and do this. So going to community college was actually good for me because I was able to just lock in and do what I needed to do. And then eventually I ended up going back to UTA and finished off. And now I'm here.
That's good. Sometimes you can't see in the moment what's a blessing.
Yeah, for sure.
Do you think that it was difficult to find people who looked like you that were in the same field as you while in college?
Um, so in nursing school, I will say I probably was the only Black girl in my clinical
Wow.
groups. And I don't know why it's like that. I mean, Black people apply to nursing school all the time, but I don't know. It's just one of those things sometimes in different
That's
degrees,
crazy.
It's not a whole lot of diversity. I wish it was, but um I do feel like in college, yes, it was kind of difficult to be in a nursing class and have a lot of people that look like me. But I will say, once I did become a nurse, um, still the same. You have some places that's more diverse than others, but I did see more and more people like Black people, on the units and in management positions and things like that. So, I mean, they're out there, but it's definitely not where, you would want it to be, unfortunately,
Mhm.
in some of these hospitals and some of these institutions, but you know, it's a work in progress.
It is. It definitely is.
Yes.
Now, do you ever wish you attended an HBCU?
I say this all the time. I'm like, I wish I went to an HBCU. I mean, just like the culture and the history and the school pride is just top tier. I don't think any PWI or any other school can top that for an HBCU. And HBCUs produce like amazing, amazing, amazing people. Unfortunately, when I was in school, I just felt like HBCUs weren't pushed. I've
Mhm.
actually had people tell me like, "Oh, if you go to an HBCU, like you won't get chosen for certain jobs, or they'll choose you over someone who went to a PWI. You need to go to a PWI." I've heard that all the time. That was kind of the narrative when I was in high school. Now I feel like HBCUs are more pushed. I feel like before people only really went to HBCUs because their parents went there or
Yeah.
they knew a brother or sister that went there, not just because they just wanted to go. But now I feel like the roles have changed and HBCUs are getting more recognition than they've ever had before. So I love that.
Yes. I definitely want to go to HBCU. Because I
Yes.
hear everyone say that everybody's like, oh, I wish I would have did it. If I could do it all over again, I would go to HBCU. So
Yeah.
let's see. If there are any nursing students listening right now, do you have any advice for them?
Definitely stick with it because nursing school is hard. It's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would be doing it.
Mhm.
You got this far. You've made it into nursing school. Just stay focused and do what you have to do. Study, put the time in and the work in, and it'll definitely pay off. And then you'll graduate and you'll get that nursing job, and you're like, I can't believe I was crying over that farm test or that dosage calculation test. Remember when we had clinical and we were freaking out over this checkoff, and then now you're just like in there doing the thing without even thinking about it.
Graduated.
So it's gonna be worth it. Just hang in there.
Okay. What motivated you to become a nurse, and how did your educational background prepare you for this career?
Yes. So Ever since I was a kid, like I just always loved healthcare. Like I love taking care of people. I feel like I have a very like nurturing spirit. That's just always been like who I was. I love taking care of people, making sure everybody's okay. And I've always been interested in science. I love science. During school, grade school, even in college, I love science lab. I think in elementary, I think I read my entire science book. I don't ask, but I did. It just interests me. I just love math and science. And so nursing always kind of been something that I really wanted to do. Um, as far as the educational background, I mean, I didn't have any difference in education than the next person. I mean, I went to public school. I didn't I know Hightower used to have, I don't know if they still do, but I know they used to have like the medical academy. I was never like a part of any of that, but I mean, that would be an amazing option if you were interested in becoming a nurse to, get involved into something like that. But I just feel like, I was just very interested in that area. And so I was like, that's what I'm going to do. And I'm not taking no for an answer.
That's good, and that's really good that you stuck with it and took your own advice.
Yes.
How do you handle high stress situations in healthcare environments?
That is also a great question. So I work in the pediatric ICU, so I feel like it's very high stressed. We see a little bit of everything. So as far as how I handle it, I just try to leave work at home. Work at home, work at work, and not
Yes.
bring it home. Sometimes it's easier said than done because we do get very attached to certain patients and families and things like that. And when things don't really go the way it's planned, sometimes, it does bother us and it'll bother anybody. I mean, as nurses, we're still human, we still have feelings and emotions, and that's okay to go through. But, you know, you just have to learn that to, be able to shake it off and be able to kind of move forward and know, that you're helping these people and, the job is actually very rewarding, even though it doesn't always go the way that is planned, as far as taking care of patients. And then definitely, like I said, outside of work, you need to be well rounded. You need to like go get that massage, go get your nails done if that's something that you like to do, or go to the park or hang out with your family or go skating or things like that. Go on that trip when you have a few days off. Because again, you just have to do something to be able to keep your mental right. Because if not, it will weigh on you for sure.
Yeah, and I saw your schedule and I noticed it wasn't that many days in a row. And I feel like that could help as well because whenever you're not going to work back to back or going to days to work like 7 days a week and then seven off, it probably helps.
Yes. And then I recently started working out at the gym. So that helps me
Okay.
kind of like, release some
Release
stress too.
stress.
And it's healthy. So there you go.
That's good.
Yeah.
What are your long term career goals in the nursing field?
So my long-term goal in the nursing field is I eventually want to be the director over the nurse residency program. Right now at my job, I do train new graduate nurses on the unit when they first graduate and get their first nursing job. And so I really love working with them. I love being that person to kind of show them, how things go. And I love seeing them, grasp different skills and just growing as a new nurse. And so I am in school right now. I should be done by December with my master's in nurse education. So
Ooh,
is my ultimate goal. When I graduate, I want to become a nurse educator.
okay. That's really cool.
Thank you.
Do you have any mentors or influential figures during your nursing education, and how did they contribute to your development as a nurse?
So when I was in nursing school, I wouldn't say that I had any like mentors or anybody that really influenced me. I wish I did, but it was just kind of like I had to just figure it out.
Yeah,
I just had to kind of
just
figure it
fluid
out.
in the water.
Yeah, and so, I mean, no one in my family is a nurse or even working in healthcare. So I just kind of had to navigate a lot of things on my own, unfortunately. But after I became a nurse, um, I did get a mentor through Alpha Kappa Alpha. The woman who brought me in, her name is Patrice. Love her down, and she really helped me grow as a person and as a woman. I felt like my personality and just the way that I did things and maneuvered through life completely changed after she kind of like took me underneath her wing. So I'm very grateful for her. And as far as how it contributed to my nurse development, I feel like after meeting her, I was able to stand up for myself a little bit more. I used to be very timid and very shy, and I still am kind of like on the shyer side, but it used to be real bad. I didn't stand up for myself. I was very quiet, and I feel like now, even in my nursing career and at work, like I'm able to speak up for myself and stand up for myself when something is not going right, or if I have a question about something, I'm not afraid to ask. So that's really helped me a lot.
Well, shout out to Patrice.
Yes, she's the one.
And and that's cool that you're the person who's mentoring them now, since you
Yeah,
didn't have that whenever you were coming up as a nurse.
yeah.
Why do you think that nursing is undersaturated? I hear that a lot.
So I feel like I feel like there are a lot of nurses or nursing students graduating and coming out of school and becoming a nurse. I think the problem is when we get into the hospital setting, people don't realize how high stress it is and the
Mhm.
actual work that goes into like becoming a nurse and dealing with different things, different families, death, or like I said, getting attached to certain things, or coming into work and it's short staffed and you're being stretched super thin for a whole 12 plus hours. That can really weigh on a person. And I just feel like in the hospital setting, people are just tired. Nurses are just tired.
Yeah.
They're exhausted. And so I have seen that a lot of nurses have kind of ventured out into the bedside space, and maybe that's the beauty of nursing. You can do literally whatever. You don't have to work at the bedside. You can work in an office or a clinic, or you can do nurse informatics where you're working on a computer, working with numbers, whatever you want to do.
Wow.
If you want to have as little patient care as possible, or as much patient contact as possible, there's so many different avenues that you can do. But as far as the hospital setting and bedside, it is hard and it is draining mentally. I mean, it's rewarding. Don't get me wrong. I love being a nurse, but I could see how people get burnt out. Nurse burnout is very real. It's a real thing,
Yeah.
and so I know something has got to get better because we are short staffed. A lot of places are short staffed right now,
Yeah.
and hopefully it gets better.
Yeah, hopefully it gets better. That's always crazy for me to hear though, because I see so many people with their graduation pictures saying that they're going to be a nurse and that that's going to be their major.
Hmm.
But in the actual industry, I hear a lot of people say it's undersaturated. So that's very
Yes.
interesting to me.
Yep.
Can you elaborate on any clinical rotations or internships you participated in during your nursing education?
Yes. So my favorite, I mean, it's kind of obvious because I work with kids and pediatrics, but my favorite rotation was definitely my peds rotation. I loved working with the kids. I love just the energy in the children's hospitals is very different. I don't know if you've been to a children's hospital before, but everything is just it's completely different. It's very vibrant, lots of colors. They try their best to make the kids feel comfortable and safe because they're going through whatever health issue that they're going through. And it's just a magical place. And it's just
Mhm.
magical people working there. I mean, people who work in pediatrics are very passionate about their job and they love what they do. And it shows. It shows. I work where I work at Texas Children. It's just the people that work there are amazing. You could tell that they're genuinely there for the kids and that they love what they do. And I just, it just makes the experience as a nurse and where you're working just that more rewarding and great to work in. Especially seeing like kids, come in and they're sick and they're this, and then you get to see them progress and get discharged, and it's just a very like rewarding job and very it's not happy all the time, but
Mhm.
we try to make the best of it, and make our kids feel safe.
It seems like you can have a lot of fun with that job too.
Yeah, we get creative.
Okay, so the next segment is called Questions from the Girls, and it's questions that we can both answer in a sense, and it's just questions that different girls have asked.
Okay.
How do you manage the pressure of portraying a perfect image on social media while staying true to yourself? So you
Okay.
can answer
You want
first.
me to answer first?
Yes.
Okay. So, honestly, I don't really care what people think anymore. I used to be so caught up in what people thought of me and oh my gosh, should I post this or like shit. I mean, I still, go through my pictures and like, okay, I like this one better. I'm gonna heart this one and this and that and the third. But I don't really let that affect me anymore because these people aren't really doing anything for me. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
I can care less if I get 50 likes on a picture or 10,000 likes. It doesn't really bother me. I mean, some girlies are really into that, but that doesn't bother me at all. I
Yeah.
mean, I don't I don't feel like I have to do the most to appease people on the internet that I don't know and I don't talk to because at the end of the day, people post what they want to post. You know what I'm saying? People are only going to post things like the good things and the highlights. People aren't really talking about the things that goes on with them behind closed doors. Somebody could be on social media on Instagram and look like they have the best life in the world,
Mhm.
and then you meet them in person and you really talk to them and get to know them and they're miserable. So I really just feel like you can't base what people are doing off of social media because half the time social media is fake.
Yes, it really is.
Yeah.
Well, I would say for myself, I don't really think about it too much whenever I'm posting things, but I manage it by not staying on social media for too long because I have a lot of stuff to do. I'm sure everybody who's on social media all day has something better to be doing. So
Mhm.
just focus on the things that you have to do and don't waste your time scrolling because you're going
Yeah.
to get all in your head and caught up about what do people think whenever you're just on social media for too long. So take breaks. It's okay.
Definitely.
Have you ever thought about being an influencer?
I've never thought about it before, but I did train a new nurse and she was like, "You should start YouTube." And I was just like, "Girl, I don't have time to start no YouTube." But
You should do TikTok, a TikTok.
TikTok, girl, I feel old. I don't even know how to really work TikTok. So you may need to help me on that. I
Okay, I got
mean, but influencers, they're cool. My life is very busy right now as far between grad school and working full time and everything else. But I mean, I don't know. I just never really gave it any thought, but I'm not against it.
Me personally, I have thought about it because I see people making money on YouTube and making money on TikTok, but I
Mhm.
just can't stay consistent. I forget about it every time.
Yeah,
So it's not going to
it
work for
it's
me.
definitely a lot of dedication to do that. I
It
mean,
is.
a lot of dedication.
It really is. Okay, the next question is how can teenagers start exploring potential career options or gain relevant experience at a young age? I'm guessing this is talking about healthcare.
Okay. Yeah, so definitely volunteer. I know several hospitals have, different volunteer committees that you can join if you feel like you want to volunteer at a children's hospital or even an adult hospital. There's several opportunities to do so. And just to get that experience, that's something good to put on your resume, even though you're so young and you might not be able to hold a job, but volunteer experience is very important, because it's still experience. So definitely volunteer and just kind of see what you like and what you don't like.
Okay,
Mhm.
that is a good idea. I know that a lot of hospitals have so many requirements whenever you're going through the process. So, are there any other places that you know of that give those opportunities as
Give
well?
those opportunities. Outside of the hospital, I'm trying to think. Um, I am not 100% sure, but I feel like, different like women's shelters or different things where you can still help people,
Mhm.
and volunteer there. You can still kind of get that, experience on helping people and doing certain things, with it not being in the hospital directly. Um, I know sometimes, they have like blood drives. You can like volunteer with that, and you may not be the one poking people, but you can still, get involved. There's different types of things. I'm sure if you Google like volunteer opportunities for healthcare, so many things will like pop up that you can get involved in.
Okay.
Hmm.
Well, my answer, I'm no pro, but I think that you can join different clubs like Red Cross or
Hmm.
just different medical based clubs, maybe HOSA, to get you involved because those clubs, you don't need to be accepted. All you need to do is pay dues. So it's an easy way to get involved.
Right.
The last question is were there any specific academic achievements or projects during your nursing education that you are particularly proud of, or even an achievement outside of your career?
Um, just finishing with my bachelor's is just an achievement to me
It
in
is.
itself, because my road to my bachelor's degree was not a straightforward one. And I could have changed my major a million times or did something completely different, but I stuck with it because that's what I wanted to do. And I knew that's what I wanted to do. And it ended up working out for me. It wasn't perfect, or it wasn't the way that I thought that it should have gone, but it was very rewarding when I finished because I did that and I stuck with that, even though I ran into a couple of speed bumps on the way. So I'm most particularly proud of that and still pushing myself to even further my education with grad school. I could have stopped at my bachelor's, but I know that I want to take it further. And so I'm sticking with school, and now I'm in grad school. It's not easy working full time and being in grad school, but anything that's like worth doing is not going to be easy. So I'm most particular of that. And as far as any achievements that I've made outside my career, um, that's a good one. Because I feel like I most of my achievements have been like career based or like career driven. But who knows, when I finish grad school, maybe I'll have more time to, look into other things and, do more achievements and set new goals.
Yes, and you're really young, so getting all this accomplished already is very inspiring. Do you
Thank you.
have any other projects or anything that you want to share with the guests?
Projects. Right now in grad school takes up a lot of my time and working full time, but I really do like I'm precepting at a university and I'm
Ooh.
helping like following behind a professor and she's amazing. So I'm like working with her and she's showing me all the tips and ins and outs of becoming an educator. So that's very exciting. So hopefully, who knows, maybe I like that more. So we'll see. We'll see how it goes.
That's really cool. Thank you so much for coming on, and best of luck to you in all your endeavors.
Thank
And
you.
have a great day.
You
Thank you
too.
guys for
Thanks for having
listening. Bye.
me. Bye.